It'll be Arkansas State and the Troy Trojans for the Sun Belt Championship. It's Locked On Sun Belt.
You are Locked On Sun Belt, your daily podcast on the Sun Belt Conference, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, Dave Schultz, Locked On Sun Belt, your teams every day. Today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. Okay, Troy just finishes off JMU. Your final score 79-60, and that's about as close as the game was. Troy got out to a big lead. JMU made a little bit of a run, but never really challenged them. And it'll be Troy and Arkansas State. Arkansas State takes down South Alabama. We will get to a Sun Belt Championship preview at the end. And I will say we do have our first football coach coming up this week. It may be one of the coaches from the two teams playing in the championship. We'll just say that. We'll start and perpetuate a rumor. Okay. Let's talk about Arkansas State and South Alabama. Really good college basketball game. 74-71, Arkansas State. The difference in the ball game, as I mentioned on the quick recap, was the three-point shooting. Arkansas State made 12. South Alabama made 2. And I heard about it. I saw the press conference. There was a little issue with Richie and Brian Hodgson. Richie seemed to have a problem, and Brian Hodgson seemed to apologize. For whatever it was, it appeared Richie took something the wrong way, and Brian Hodgson didn't seem to mean it. And then Richie seemed to explain himself, and Brian seemed to apologize again. So whatever it was, it didn't seem to. Richie wanted to nip it in the bud because they had a quick conversation and then had a longer conversation, and I don't think it was answered in the post-game press conference. But whatever the case was, that seemed to be a dead issue. Anyway, in the press conference, Richie said he didn't want to make it an excuse, but he sort of did, that they don't get a lot of time to play or practice in the arena, which, as he says, it is what it is. And we have mentioned that. All right. They have not played since last Friday. All right. I'm not, in this case, maybe JMU wants to use that, but South Alabama can't, because I don't know if we can bring this up as a, let me see. I got to save it as a PDF. I don't know if I can. I don't think I can. But if we go through the statistics, South Alabama was right there outside of the shooting. And we're just talking 3-point percentage. South Alabama outplayed Arkansas State. Overall, South Alabama outshot Arkansas State 42-40. They out-rebounded them. More offensive rebounds. The big spot where I didn't think that Arkansas State would win was bench points. It was 7-4. Arkansas State did a really good job on Judah Brown. Like, he took 1 3-pointer, and I think it was a heave at the end of the shot clock. Like, he didn't get any 3-point attempts, and usually he's instant offense. They did a really good job on the bench. Randy Brady played for the first time in at least 3 ball games, and he was out of sorts. I thought Arkansas State did a really good job on not allowing South Alabama to take 3-point shots. They hit 2, and one of them was with 1.4 seconds left to go. So for the most part, they were 1 for 11 in the game. And obviously that's the difference in the game. But that tells you how good South Alabama played, or how well South Alabama played. They got outscored by 30 at the 3-point line. Arkansas State scored 36. South Alabama scored 6, and they lost by 3. So you can't tell me that it was a layoff or they didn't play very well, because you got blown out at the 3-point line, but you lost by 3. 2 key 3-pointers by Arkansas State really came back to hurt you. Arkansas State tried to take control at the end of the first half. They got up by 6, and South Alabama tied it up 34-all. Joseph Pinion hit one at the top of the key at the end of the half. They go up by 3. Once again, South Alabama fell behind. about 5 points, like 60-55. They close it to 60-59. 3 minutes left to go, just a little bit above that. And Terrance Ford Jr. hit a three-pointer to make it 63-59. I don't think they got closer than that. They had a couple of chances. Kobe Julian was missing free throws. South Alabama missed a few free throws. But I don't think they ever had a shot. Here's when they had the shot, okay? They were down, the Cajuns. The Jaguars were down 71-65, and Eli Ormanston, and this was with 30 seconds left, and Eli Ormanston was fouled shooting a three, and he missed the two first free throws. They could have been down 71-69. And then maybe you have a game, although Nelson does make two free throws. That would have made it 73-69. Miles Corey made a layup, would have made it 73-71. And then Julian missed a free throw. He made one of two free throws. So who knows what happens there. And then Eli Ormanston made the three. I'm just saying that the only bad thing, and it was a bad thing, South Alabama, and we mentioned this, sometimes they don't hit threes and they lose. They live and die by the three. And they made some adjustments in the second half, and maybe Arkansas State didn't take as many threes because they didn't need to. They were 8-19 in the first half. They did a much better job finding the open man and moving the ball and getting wide open shots and a little pump fake and Pinion moving and shooting. And they did a much better job against the zone the third time than they had before. They had 18 assists. They did a good job against the zone compared to what they did before. Pinion had 23 points. Kobe Julian had 14 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Pinion, in his 23 points, also had 5 assists and 6 rebounds. He had an excellent ball game. Terrance Ford, 11 points, 3 of 6 from 3. And again, that big one with 3 minutes left to go. Also had 3 assists. Let's see here. We mentioned Kobe Julian, 14 points, 4 assists. Coming off the bench was Darian Ford. He had 3 points and 3 assists. So he had a big 3-pointer as well. So it was a close ball game. Good ball game. Arkansas State, as in the case usually when it's a 3-point game, makes 1 or 2 more plays, and that's the difference of the game. Obviously, a great season for South Alabama ends in disappointment because you get that one shot and you beat them twice in the regular season. But as Richie said, the idea is to come here and cut the nets down in Pensacola to go play in the NCAA tournament. So disappointing, but they played pretty well. Outside of the 3-point shooting, they didn't lay an egg sad to say, like JMU did. JMU laid the egg. All right. Troy played really well, but JMU laid the egg. That was the problem there. I don't think, outside of the bad shooting, South Alabama has anything to hang their heads on outside of being disappointed that if you make 1 or 2 more plays, and Riley said we just couldn't get that one more stop. Get that stop at 60-59. Who knows what happens? It's a good basketball game. Really good basketball game. I think tonight's basketball game is going to be sensational as well. I think Troy's playing a little bit better, but that may have to do with who they're played comparably. So I think Arkansas State has played the teams that have been playing better. I think Marshall played better, and I think South Alabama has played better than ODU and JMU. All right, let's take a timeout. We'll come back. Troy with a much easier time of it as they handle JMU. We will do that after I tell you about Supply House and Wayfair. Get into the supplies you need with a site made for the skilled trades. Supply House. Whether you're into plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy way to use the website is packed with helpful resources and the latest production info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400 plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need, delivered fast from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for trade pros looking for an extra edge, their free TradeMaster program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage. Now it's your turn. Join the TradeMaster program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Use promo code SH5. That's S-H-5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. And Wayfair. Your home should reflect your style, and with Wayfair, it's easier than ever than to make that happen. Whether you're looking for a simple refresh or tackling a big home project, Wayfair has everything you need in one place. Wayfair's huge selection makes it easy to find the perfect piece, no matter your space or budget. From cozy furniture to stylish decor to kitchen essentials and outdoor must-haves, Wayfair has it all, and prices to fit your budget. Finding the perfect piece, I was looking for like the shelves behind me. Let's see. Those, I got it right. Yeah, those shelves were from a Wayfair. I'd show you, but I'd have to take the computer off and screw up the whole recording because the desk I'm using is from a Wayfair as well. Head over to wayfair.com and find something that's just your style today. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. All right, Dave Schultz, Lockdown Sunbelt, your teams every day. We do have Troy taking on Arkansas State in tonight's Sunbelt Championship game. One of those two teams will be playing in the NCAA tournament. Troy has had a much easier time in this tournament than Arkansas State. Did Arkansas State, did this just hit me? Did they just win the two ball games by the same exact score? They beat Marshall 77-74. They beat South Alabama 74-71. All right, so no. I don't know why that just occurred to me, and again, wrong. Troy, on the other hand, has won a couple of blowouts. They beat JMU 79-60, and it was not particularly close at all. They jumped out to an 11-0 lead. Troy did, and at one point in time led 19-5. JMU did get it to 19-15, but halftime was 40-23. I think it got down to 8 in the second half, but that's basically about it. Troy runs away with it 79-60. Let's see here. Box score wise, again, you're going to have really balanced scoring. I think a lot of guys were in the 20s. Tayton Conerway, Sunbelt Player of the Year, 22 points, 7-10 shooting. Jackson Fields, 21 points, 8 of 13 shooting. Says Thomas Dowd, 18 points and 11 rebounds. He had a big ball game in 29 minutes. That is what we call efficient. Troy shot 47%, very good. 36% from 3, 10 of 28, and an impressive 19 of 23 from the free throw line. All right. JMU, not so much. They would be the opposite. They shot a grand total of 32% from the floor, 20 of 62, 7 out of 27 from 3. That's 26%. And even from the free throw line, they were under 70%. It is Mark Freeman, right? He had half their points. He had 34 points on 12 of 19 shooting. Outstanding game. 34 points, 6 of 10 from a three, 4 of 6 from the free throw line. Nobody else in double figures. Elijah Hutchins Everett had 9 points on 3 of 8 shooting. Maybe a little foul trouble, 3 fouls, but he only had 8 field goals. Maybe because they fell behind, they had to start launching threes, as Freeman did with his 10. Bryce Lindsey only 1 of 6. He was like the freshman of the year and 6th man of the year. Xavier Brown, one of the holdovers from Mark Byington's NCAA tournament team from last year, struggled. 5 points, 2 of 14 overall, and 0 of 7 from 3. So Lindsey and Brown combined for 11 points, but 4 of 14 shooting and 1 of 13 from 3. So obviously that's going to be an issue. And again, this game was not particularly close. And compared to Arkansas State, Dowd played 20 minutes. Let's see here. You got one of the Rigby's, Marcus Rigby Jr. Let's see here. He played 23 minutes. Miles Rigby played 30 minutes. Conerway played 33 minutes. Jackson Fields played 34 minutes. If we go the other way, let's see what we got. Pinion played 37 minutes. These aren't bad. Kobe Julian played 32. Terrance Todd played 27. Ford, though, played all 40. Isaiah Nelson was in foul trouble in the first half, so only played 21 minutes. Darian Ford played 19. Dominguez played 13. So not like ODU, but both these teams, there will be no advantage for either team, as both teams will be playing their third ball game in 3 days. So one team has played 2 nail biters. All right. Not sure if there was a call that didn't go the Jags' way. I didn't happen to see anything. There was a goaltend early on that they originally counted and then took away. Oh, well, for South Alabama. But I didn't see the refs change anything. Someone had a really good view of the foul they called on a Chili Killen on Pinion from a couple of nights ago, and there's just no foul there. I don't know if the ref anticipated the foul. He just did not touch him at all. And again, I don't want to hear about you can't make that call in that position. Foul's a foul. There was no foul there. There was no foul there. Nonetheless, I just don't know if a bad call happened in the Jaguars Arkansas State game. I think it was a good basketball game, and Arkansas State made a bunch more threes, but just made a couple of more plays was the difference in that game. Troy, JMU was just all Troy. All right. These two teams split. We will preview the championship game when we come back, right after I tell you about FanDuel. March Madness is here, or at least almost. And FanDuel is giving you the chance to get in on the action like never before. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. I got so excited about the $200. That's 200 extra bucks to use on everything from buzzer beaters to Cinderella stories, and even who's cutting down the nets. I've got my eye on a few underdogs this year. Let's see if the Sun Belt could win. We may have won a little bit on JMU beating Wisconsin last year. And FanDuel makes it easy to back them with spreads, totals, and game props. With tournament games happening almost every day, there's always something exciting to bet on. The FanDuel app is simple and easy to use. And when I win, I get paid instantly, no waiting around. So visit FanDuel.com and get in on the college hoops action all tournament long. Hopefully my hiccups will be gone by then. All right, Dave Schultz, Locked On Sunbelt, your teams every day. Arkansas State and Troy did split. I believe each one won on the road, if my memory serves. Troy beat Arkansas State in Jonesboro 71-70, and Arkansas State beat Troy in Troy 84-78. So 2 close ball games. Again, this should be a fantastic ball game. You have 2 really good coaches. I will say it's amazing that Scott Cross, maybe because he just hasn't taken that last step. Brian Hodgson's name has been associated, he's been associated with the Orange. Adrian Autry's coming back, but people have their eye on him for the Syracuse job if Autry's coming back. So maybe Hodgson gets it next year because he's from Western New York. Hodgson's name was up for the Florida State job, but someone who went there and was the Sacramento Kings assistant got that. So his name is floated out there. Just never heard Scott Cross's name because he's always had these good, really good regular season teams. They always seem to come up short in the conference tournament. That's unfortunately why he got let go at UTA. I always thought that was a mistake of letting him go because it's really hard to win these things. It just, you just saw Richie Riley had this really good team. He doesn't get, say they finish second and he flips it and he gets ODU or something like that instead of what he ended up with. It may be a different topic. Anyway, I'm a big Scott Cross fan. What I'm saying is you got 2 really good coaches. All right. You do have a little bit different of a deal, although a little bit surprised that Troy does score what they do, but Troy generally likes to score a little bit more than Arkansas than I first thought. All right. Troy's going to play more defense. All right. Arkansas State averages almost 80 points a game. Troy scores 73. All right. I didn't think it was that much. Arkansas State gives up 70 points a game. Troy only gives up 65 points a ball game. It's going to be great. It's going to be a fantastic basketball game. We'll see what happens, in the middle. If Isaiah Nelson can stay out of foul trouble. I think he did have a double-double a couple of games ago, but he has not been nearly as dominant as he had been towards the end of the season. I think Kobe Julian's been solid. He has not been spectacular. I mean, Joseph Pinion they won that ball game yesterday because of Joseph Pinion, and they needed all 23 points. If he scores 19, they may lose the ball game. We'll see. Tayton Conerway has been fantastic. They did have who stepped up the night before. Miles Rigsby had close to 20 points the night before, something along those lines. Let me see if we can do that quickly. So it's been a really balanced ball game. Let's see what Miles Rigsby had against ODU. Miles Rigsby had 17 points when Tayton Conerway had 18. So they don't necessarily concentrate on just the one guy, although Tayton's going to obviously looking for him to lead the way. I don't know if we have a line yet. I will say I didn't pick anybody because honestly, I thought it was just wide open. I thought anybody could win it. I will say where I was right is that I did say that it wasn't going to be number 1 versus number 2. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I thought that Troy was going to blow out JMU. I did not see that one coming. I did think that South Alabama may have trouble with Arkansas State. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I was going to pick them. I'm not going to sit here. I think it's tough to pick a team to win 3 times in 1 year, especially when you haven't played. I mentioned that. I didn't pick Arkansas State. I'm not going to say that. I thought in the back of my head Arkansas State or South Alabama may have a little trouble, but I didn't pick that game. I didn't pick either one. But I did say definitively it wasn't going to be number 1 versus number 2. I said that. And I only say that based on history. And I didn't have anything against South Alabama or JMU. I just didn't think, and what we've just based it on history, only 3 times in like 15 years and maybe 16 years have we had that situation. Just doesn't work out. And this time, neither the number 1 or 2 seed is in there. South Alabama played really well. JMU did not. If we're going to put that on the system, okay, somehow the other conferences all figure it out, right? The ACC are getting buys, but they're all playing games. How does that work out? Right? I mean, I know my Orange are playing on like Tuesday, but doesn't everybody else play on like Wednesday or Thursday? Right? Like Duke is not going all the way, and Louisville aren't going all the way to the semifinals or something like that. They have to play 3 or 4 ball games. You know? So not quite the same. I don't know why. It is one big league. They're trying to get the best team there. I think any one of the teams, well, I mean, outside of JMU is not playing well, but I think South Alabama just missed. All right. Either Arkansas State or Troy are playing very well. And I think either one of those teams can match up. I know Matt Stewart said, well, JMU got like a 12 or an 11 seed. Well, we'll see. Isaiah Nelson could present problems. We'll see who's got size. Arkansas State is very well balanced, right? Depending on who's playing well. They have some athleticism. And the same for Troy. Thing is with Troy, if you're going against Troy, kind of try to lock down Tayton Conerway, and we'll see who picks up the slack there. And kind of tough to do that with Arkansas State because they got, a bunch of different guys who can do it. If you're going to try and stop Pinion, but some other guys can hopefully you would think step up. So I think it's going to be a great game. I guess I'll take Troy. I have no idea. I really don't. I said 2 things when the tournament started. In fact, I've said it for the last 3 weeks. It was wide open. Any of the top 4 seeds and Marshall could win it. I'm right about that. And I was right that it wasn't going to be number 1 or 2. Those were the 2 things I was right about. And to quote the, sort of the great Brockmeyer, you may think I like to tell you I told you so. I love it. Those are the 2 things I said. It was wide open, and South Alabama and JMU both would not be there, and now it's neither one. Now, I have no idea who's going to win this ball game. I guess I'm picking Troy, but I again, it very well. I really have no idea. It could be both. I don't have a line for that game just yet. Let me redo it. Let's see if it's popped up. No, not yet. I can't imagine it's going to be more than 2 or 3 points either way. I wouldn't be surprised if it's less than that, and it very well could be a pick 'em, right? They split. One was a 6-point game, and one was a 1-point game. So, and they won on the road. So very odd. So I'll pick Troy, but I'm not going to FanDuel on that one. I'll tell you that. That's one that I have no conviction on in a big way. No, not one whatsoever. But we'll watch it. We'll do a full recap. We'll do a quick recap tomorrow, and obviously have a full episode on a Tuesday. Game starts 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, so not that late. We get to go to bed at a regular time. And we do have a football coach in the Sun Belt who will be joining us this week. Again, it may or may not be a football coach from one of the 2 schools playing in the Sun Belt Championship. So we at least have that. We'll put them in there. It is a school that has already started spring ball. That may have given it away. All right. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. Enjoy the basketball. All right, we'll be watching it all together. Probably should do some sort of live stream, but we'll just be sitting here watching it. Really appreciate all the support. Arkansas State takes South Alabama down 74-71. Troy routs JMU 79-60. It is the Red Wolves versus the Trojans. For all of the Sun Belt marbles, the winner is going dancing in the NCAAs. You've been watching and listening to Locked On Sun Belt, your teams every day. We had a great weekend and enjoy the basketball game on Monday. We'll talk to you again on Tuesday.